Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today we're going to be looking at Deck of Robots from Stellar Factory. Now, Stellar Factory is a Boulder, Colorado-based game design studio with a bunch of different games and even decks of cards to their name. But this particular one takes a bit of a trip into a fictional Stellar Factory facility that's run by robots, the robots who make the games and toys that everybody knows Stellar Factory for. And it's really kind of a whimsical, fun concept behind the entire deck. So let's jump into it, find out more about the deck itself. Now, this particular deck I found on Amazon. It's actually a $10 deck on Amazon, so a really affordable deck of cards. And the tuck case is done in a pretty standard fashion. It's just on this glossy finish, no foil or embossing, any really high-end elements on the tuck case, but it has a lot of really fun artwork on it. The line work here on the front is kind of meant to be kind of your first view into the factory. So you can see a couple of robots, like this arm reaching up from the top, or the robots perched here on the sides in this reflected design in the back. Lots of really cool line work with little details to pick out all over the place. You have this small name of the deck in the middle, Deck of Robots, and then Stellar Factory at the top. So pretty fun look with that white against the black background on it. On the side, complete with the rocket ship and the clouds, you have Deck of Robots. Other side, same thing. Bottom here has your ad copy and a barcode, since this is more of a retail deck. Top here has some sort of circuitry like you might find all over in a factory of some sort. And then the back, in addition to some more fun line work that also features some of the things that the robots are making, like chess pieces, cards, dice, and little spinners there. You also have a little bit of text that gives you a bit of the story and inspiration behind the deck itself. It's finished out with this bright yellow tuck seal with kind of the atom there in the center, as it's sealed by Robot 3427. And as you open it up, this fun little just beep boop of the robot kind of giving a nod there. Some stars on the inner flap here and nothing printed on the interior of the tuck case. So for a really simple color scheme with just mostly black and white, it does have kind of a fun appeal and lots of little details on the tuck case. And we get to the back design, and it's kind of a continuation of what we saw on the tuck case. That same line art style, the black background with the white lines all the way through. You have the circuits there in the center, and then lots of sort of factory or robot images all the way around. You have kind of a smokestack from the factory on one side, the rocket ship on the other, a few of our little robot friends there perched in the middle, and it's reflected on the other side to form a completely two-way back design. Finishes out with a nice thin white poker border, which you may have already noticed on this one is given a little bit of the USPCC treatment. USPCC is definitely not known for cutting their borders straight. This is a particular messy example here. Don't put that on Stellar Factory, that's more a USPCC issue. But that's the back design of the cards, lots of fun there. You also get a pair of jokers in the deck, and I love the artwork and the style on these. They both feature a robot, each one of them doing something a little bit different. One of them is juggling a few pieces of pizza. The other one's doing a little bit of card magic, complete with the top hat and bunny at the bottom. But really fun, whimsical illustrations to it. Kind of reminds me a little bit of something you might see like on a riffle shuffle deck or something like that. Not really sure, but it's a lot of fun, and I like the artwork on this one. One black and one red joker, just say Joker, Joker in the corners. So there's your two jokers. You also get a couple of different ad cards. The first one is a bit of an ad for another Stellar Factory game. So they talk a little bit about Space Team, which was a game that they got funded on Kickstarter not too long ago. So there's where you can find out more about Space Team, has their Space Team logo on the back. And then the other one is a Deck of Robots ad card, complete with Matthew Sisson, who did the art and product direction, and Untitled Era, who did the illustrations. And that one has an orange version of the card on the back. Not sure if this is like a plan for a V2 to do a more colorful version. So there's your extra cards. The 4 aces are all a lot of fun. No one power ace, and instead each one features a really fun illustration in the middle of the pip. So you get the large spade pip there with a bit of an industrial feel, come with the rivets around the edge. And then in the middle, you see a little glimpse of just kind of what's going on in the factory. So here's a couple of robots that are busy making playing cards on the Ace of Spades. Ace of Diamonds features them working on a spinner wheel, maybe for a popular board game. Ace of Clubs has them making dice there in the middle. You can see the couple of dice that they're working on. And the Ace of Hearts has them working on chess pieces. So lots of fun little details on these. I really like the industrial style that was given to them. But it keeps them really fun. And then the pretty standard pip and index in the corner, a bit smaller than maybe you're used to, but still nice and easily readable. All right, so those are your aces. Your number cards are all fully custom as well. They each feature pretty standard shape pips, but they're given this two-tone shading here. One side full black, the other side is made up of little tiny black dots all the way through. Almost gives it a gray or a silver look to it all. Pip and index in the corner, and then some extra little fun details like the lines here, which are kind of reminiscent of schematics. And then you have the binary here down this side, which in part at least, it has the 0011, and then the last 4 forms the binary number for 2. And you'll see that continue on as we go through the rest of the numbers. And so as you go through, you can see more of that schematic pattern emerging as it connects out all the different pips, the binary down the corner. Just a really kind of fun look without being distracting from the overall playability of the cards. I think they did really well there. So that black and sort of gray looking on the black cards. The red cards are more kind of an orangish red, and then the other side almost looks pink. So there's your red cards, but the same basic details with that really faint gray schematic and binary in the background. And then into the clubs, back to the black and gray. And finally finishing with the hearts. So your two-tone hearts there. So like the custom pips, like that they didn't do so much with them that they're hard to play with, because I think being a game company, they really wanted to make a nice functional deck, even if they went with a fun custom theme. All right, now we get into the courts, and the courts are definitely fully customized, and this is where the stars of our robot factory are really going to make an appearance. So for each one of these, you get a two-way court, and they feature one of the robots from the factory. They're all playing around with some of the different things that get made in the factory. So like the Jack of Spades here with the cards in his hand. There's the Queen of Spades, maybe packing up some boxes. King of Spades, obviously in charge of logistics there, so he's got the boxes stacked all around him. And then as you get into the diamonds, so there's one working on a spinning wheel in the middle. And then there's your Queen of Diamonds working on, not sure what that is, but maybe on a printer, kind of printing out directions there or something. And then there's your King of Diamonds with the rocket ships and more boxes. Jack of Clubs working on some dice with a little magnifying glass in his hand. There's lots of fun little details on all of the courts. One of those kind of court cards that you can really just sort of stare at each one for a while and just pick up extra little details on the toys or whatever. This is one of my favorite ones. I love the sort of haphazard chessboards with the chess pieces flying all over the place. There's your Queen of Hearts and your King of Hearts. So that's your court cards, and that's the deck. As far as handling, these are printed by USPCC on what they call a linen finish, and they're done on what feels like a super thin cardstock. I think if you felt like Art of Play decks, they always use a really thin cardstock. This feels at least that thin, if not maybe even a little bit thinner, but it handles really smoothly. Registration issues aside, really smooth for fans, cuts, all of that's going to handle really great. So that gets down into what is the deck used for? Well, it's a game company, so I think that they really were aiming for a deck that would be functional and usable while fun at the same time, and I think they really achieved that. For me, this is a gameplay deck, maybe Magic, but gameplay first and foremost. So inexpensive deck, one that you're going to break out, use to make poker night maybe just a little bit more fun. So that's it for this one. If you want to pick up a deck for yourself, I'll put a link down in the description, both to Stellar Factory's website and to Amazon, where you can pick this deck up if you're interested. So make sure to check that out. But that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed this look at Deck of Robots by Stellar Factory. Make sure to subscribe for more deck reviews and unboxings. Let me know what else you want to see in the future, and I'll see you for the next one.